Piers Morgan appeared on the Australian breakfast show Today and unleashed on Meghan Markle for preaching about environmental issues despite living in a mansion and flying in private jets. Mr. Morgan also reflected on an interaction he had with an Australian lady in London who said wokies were sucking all the joy out of life. Mr. Morgan agreed, calling it a brilliant observation and said it was his mission to bring freedoms back to the world. Mr. Morgan spoke with Today presenters Carl Stefanovich and Alison Langdon about his new show and the royal family. Mr. Stefanovich joked he was surprised to see Mr. Morgan come round on Meghan Markle. The former GMB presenter laughed and remarked, "Well, Shush is the queen of woke. I think in many ways she represents this kind of mindset where she wants to right to everything that she does is fantastic. And everything anybody else does to criticize. It is appalling and they must be immediately cancelled and shamed and vilified, and that's not how democracies work, I'm afraid. The number of times they preach to us about the environment. Those two clowns in their California mansion from Elton John's private jet. It's like really? You're gonna preach to me about carbon footprint from Elton John's private jet? No, you're not. And so my show, as you can see. My show is gonna take on this. Cancel culture has become something which I think destroys a society." Mr. Morgan then recalled an interaction he had with an 80-year-old Australian lady in London who came up to him and said she was behind him on the Markle debacle. He explained the woman was angry at people who are woke and that they want to suck the joy out of life and wanted Mr. Morgan to change that. He added, "It was a brilliant observation. Actually at its heart, it's about sucking the joy out of life. It's about taking any of the fun and crashing it into a cesspool of funless, joyless, horrible, cancelled nothingness, and I see my role in life as to take this on and bring the joy back to life and the freedom back to the world." Later in the interview, Mr. Morgan reflected on the wider royal family and the health of the Queen and hoped she would pull through. He agreed the monarch had gone through a lot, such as the Prince Andrew case and the loss of Prince Philip, and joked a weekly meeting with Boris Johnson would finish anyone off. But Mr. Morgan was concerned over the popularity of Prince Charles and Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall, taking over despite personally liking them. Mr. Morgan opened up the Australian breakfast show and appeared to give a sly dig to his old job at Good Morning Britain. He said, "Good day, Australia. Let's start with the weather forecast. Contrary to everything that every Australian has ever told me about the weather in Sydney, it's raining. And, in fact, it's been raining every minute since I got to Australia, and it's going to rain every minute for the rest of the week I'm spending in Australia. But the good news for Ally is that Shush has finally got someone next to her who is intelligent, handsome, younger, has a better accent and a proven track record of smashing ratings records on breakfast television. You know what, Ally? I like it here. This feels natural to me.